What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Birds Flyby. Birds get blown out in the Meadowlands tonight, and it's pretty bad. Um, this Birds team tonight could not they didn't show up. They didn't show up, man. That's the only way I can put it. They did not show up tonight, and they complete the Philadelphia trifecta tonight. They really, really do. Um, as the Birds go down in flames tonight, um, and the Birds lose. Uh, oh wow, they lose tonight pretty badly. It wasn't even a game. Pat Bernard's joining me tonight. Um, I don't know, man. They were bad. They were just really, really bad.
My,
Am I
can
like
I?
lagging? Am I lagging?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Okay, can I put in perspective? Bad, bad. How? Mike, can you tell me which one of the teams were 1-4 and the other team was 4-1? I couldn't tell tonight. I couldn't tell who was the better of the teams because on paper it's supposed to be the Eagles play as a 4-1 team and the New York Giants team is 1-4, and I get it. You don't have Jalen Carter in there, but he's not the make it and break of this defense. There was no one who stepped up. This team looked like like you said, at the tail end of this game, looked like they were completely cashed out, and it's disgraceful when it looks like you're going to have the momentum finally going. 9 minutes left in the fourth, and then you fumble. AJ Dillon fumbles the ball, and that's what ultimately shot this team in the foot. And again, this team looked like they were out of it. Out of it.
They didn't even look like they were there tonight. I mean, where was this defense? Okay, yes, you didn't have Jalen Carter tonight, but to let Cam Scatterboo and they made Jackson Dart look like he's been playing for 5 years.
Oh my
They
gosh.
could. Adoree Jackson's horrible. I don't want to see him on this team. Like, and Kelly Ringo. They re-signed Eli Ricks to the practice squad. Starting tomorrow, you bring him up and you cut Kelly Ringo. Kelly Ringo was bad tonight. I will say this though.
Six.
I will say this about Ringo tonight. That pass interference call in the end zone was utter bullshit. That was a clear play. He was not holding the guy's arm. Okay, that was a bullshit call. Okay, and to be honest with you, there was a lot of bullshit calls against the Eagles tonight in this game that I've seen. But you know what? Sometimes you got to deal with that. What I'm really pissed off, you know what I'm really pissed about, Pat, is that this team has lost their identity. I know Landon Dickerson didn't play tonight, but for the love of God, can you please open up some holes for Saquon Barkley to run through? The only Eagle that had a good game tonight was Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I mean, like I said, to kind of continue about the defense side of the ball, where there's major issues. Like this is a Vic Fangio defense was pretty much sustainable. Didn't matter who was injured. You always had that next man up, next man up mentality, and you don't have it this year. It's a glaring hole that even if the little preseason sample size that we got, the guys who are supposed to be auditioning to want to step up. I've seen guys make throws and march up and down the secondary, and you're seeing that now. And again, like as much as we like to throw the thorn bush at Kevin Petula's offensive playbook, like Vic Fangio needs some of the thorn bush. Like there's something that needs to step up here. It's the same defense that he runs, the nickel and the dropbacks, and like the Giants, like you said, looked like Jackson Dart looked like he was Eli Manning back there in his prime, carving up this Eagles team. And the poor tackling, the miss. Like this guy had plenty of time in the pocket to pick apart this team. And like you just said, and then you go to the offense side of the ball. How about it? How about the edge rushers for the Giants just constantly packing in on Jalen? Jalen got sacked 3 times today, lost to 17 yards, and really not having much time. Now, like you said, he just spread the ball around a little bit in the beginning. Like you said, Saquon Barkley set the tone early of this game, but after that, Again, they go back to what everyone's been doing against the Eagles, stacking the box, making Jalen have to throw it. And at some point, it came back to haunt him today because he eventually threw a pick.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, that one he tried to force, and I'm pretty sure if you hear Jalen, he will tell you that he would want that back. But here's the thing: like you're going to look at it. Hurts ended up with 283 yards rushing, right, or 283 yards passing. Right. One touchdown, one interception. But this is the second time in a row now that he's hit 250 or more, and this is the second consecutive week they've lost. So what is that telling you? That's telling you them throwing the football is not conducive to them winning. Okay, when they ran it the first 4 weeks, okay, and then they used the run to set up the pass, then it was working. This is not sustainable. Okay, Dallas Goedert led the way tonight. Dallas Goedert had 9 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown. But you know what? Jalen Hurts, I'm sorry, that 4 push things, like, I'm sorry. To me, they shouldn't have did that four times in a row. You have Saquon Barkley. You have Corey Dillon. You have A.J. Dillon. Run the damn ball, man. Like, this team, to me, right now, is looking more and more like the 2023 Eagles than it's looking like the 2024 Eagles. Like, even though they have a better record. But you got to remember the 2023 Eagles got out to a 10-1 record before they went downhill. This is bad, man. This is really bad, and I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
No, and I agree with you. Like, and it's weird. Like, are you telling me the only time you have success is when you're doing the tush push? You can't run the ball with whether it's AJ back there, whether it's Saquon, and on the defense side too. Look at their major problems. They couldn't stop the run. I mean, they, like you said, they made the Scatterboo guy look like he was Barry Sanders back there. I mean, over 100 yards.
No, he got 98 yards. He got 19 rushes,
just shy of 100.
But he was averaging 5.2 yards a carry. Jackson Dart was averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Right. Okay, so like you can't do that tonight. I'm sitting here looking at it, and their biggest wide receiver tonight was Wendell Robinson. He had 6 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. Again, bad tackling tonight. Their secondary took a hit once Quinyon Mitchell left the game, and Adoree Jackson had a play. Adoree Jackson had a shot to stop Scatterboo before one of his 3 touchdowns tonight. Okay, and Adoree Jackson literally just went in and tried to throw a shoulder at him. Adoree Jackson needs to be cut. Now, our boy Mike Papernick, I talk with him all the time during the game. Mike's one of our best chatters on here.
Yeah.
Mike came up with a great point. Mike said they should go out and make a trade for Trey Hendrickson, bring him in, put him on the front line, the defensive line, to help get that pass rush going, and also sign Asante Samuel Jr., who's almost ready to come back. I know he's healing from injury, but you don't have to rush him back. You can sign him back, and you got your other corner now to go with Quinyon Mitchell and put him in with Cooper DeJean. This, to me, I'm sorry, like this, I don't want to see Ringo or Adoree Jackson out there no more. Put Eli Ricks in there and let him go and play. Give it to Eli Ricks, because I think Eli Ricks is better than both of them. I think you need to put Eli Ricks in there, have him go. And then you saw later on in the game, Blankenship got hurt and Epps came in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, the Eagles got banged up in this game tonight. But the only good thing about it, Pat, going forward, now they got almost 10 days off. Well, at least 9 days off before they have to go to Minnesota and take on that Vikings team.
Oh, could you imagine, if Carson's still the quarterback out there and he thumps the birds? Like, that's just telling you, because now, like you said, like, there's no identity. You don't know. And listen, I've been going back and forth with Matty Bean. Right now, this is still a decent team. I was fooling myself in believing this team was going to be A-okay. The win for win guy. Yeah, that was me. At least they're getting the win. That's all that matters. But no, there's some deeper problems, and Matty Bean was right. There's deeper problems. And like you just said, this is the same team we saw 2 years ago having the same kind of issues. They just now, like you said, It only took them 10 weeks to till they cracked the ice. It's only taken them to week 5, now week 6. It looks like they have major issues, and now they look helpless. This Eagles team looks helpless. Like you said,
they look like they didn't even get off the bus, dude. They look like they didn't even get off the bus to go play that game. It started out great. It really did. And I'll tell you what, Hurts too tonight was. I felt Jalen was off a little bit, even though he ended up throwing for like almost 300 yards. He was off. He had Devontae Smith wide open and overthrowing by 10 yards. Okay. Again, I felt like a lot of the stuff that was called tonight was a lot of ticky-tack stuff. It was definitely a penalty when A.J. Brown, when they were down near the goal line right before he threw the interception. That was definitely, at least if anything, was illegal contact. They didn't throw a flag on that. They picked it up. So there was a lot of bullshit stuff that you saw going on there tonight. Like, you really just kind of looked at it. You knew it wasn't going to be their night when they couldn't stop the Giants' offense. When they couldn't stop them, when they went down the field twice in the opening quarter and went in for touchdowns, I was like, ooh, this might be the Giants' night. And, you know, and you got to give it up to the Giants. The Giants played a great game tonight. Their defense played well. Their offensive line played well. And guess what? You know, they got a real quick turnaround because we see them guys again in 2 weeks. Now, I think that game's going to be a little different in 2 weeks because they'll have Landon Dickerson back playing, and they'll get back some of these guys that are banged up. So I think it'll be a much different game.
And you're absolutely right. Listen, the Giants played a good game. They played up against a banged up offensive and defensive line from the Birds, and they took full advantage of it, as they should, right? Jackson Dart, 17 completions, 195 yards, 1 TD. Like you said, Scatterboo for 98 yards and 19 carries, 3 TDs. I mean, listen, this team played extremely well. And to me,
they were amazing on third down, Pat. They were amazing on third down. Third down. Right. What were they on third down? They had to been at least I think like 9 for 11 or 10 for 12, something like that on third down conversions. Man, they were pretty damn good on third down and converting the ball. Eagles couldn't get them off the field tonight. They really couldn't. That was the story of this game.
And you're right. Listen, they couldn't get off the field. Listen, they had 3 and out repeatedly. And like I said, just looked like there was some kind of glimmers of hope. You saw, Jalen Hurts throwing the deep bomb that Goddard, then turned into the fumble, which kind of like the now the coffin in this team. The pick that he threw they were marching down the field. The pick that he threw, like you said, it forced it, and when I come. Biting him in the backside. But like I said, outside, I don't think Jalen really had a bad game. Like I said, that first half, he was spreading the ball well. A.J. Brown was run the cross routes. Dallas Goedert was open over the middle. You had Devontae Smith run the real well. He was catching nice balls. Dallas Goedert, in the first half had 6 catches, 80 yards, a TD. These guys were playing very well, and then it's like the second half, it was just like a lot of these issues came back. Like you said, the penalties hurt the Eagles, and that was pretty much the moral of the story.
Yeah, it was.
Can't stop the run.
You're right, exactly. They couldn't stop the run, and I'll tell you what, their third down efficiency tonight was bad. I mean, really bad. If you're looking at it right now, the Eagles, I'm looking at they were 24-33 attempts. So that was their attempts. They had 20 total rushes tonight. But here's what happened with the Birds. They turned the ball over twice. They lost the turnover battle. I mean, the Eagles did get to Jackson Dart twice. Okay. Time of possession, it was basically the same. I think the Giants had it for 2 more minutes. The Eagles had it for 29 minutes. They had it for 31. So, I mean, it was right there. The Eagles literally outpassed them tonight. But the Giants, they gave up 172 yards rushing to the Giants tonight.
And 72 yards. And just to clarify, the Birds, for the penalties, like I said, Birds did actually okay until the second half. They committed 4 for 46 yards. The Giants had 6 penalties for 55 yards. So actually, the Giants, I guess that 20 penalty actually hurt them the worst, but by them, the Giants already had this game in the bank.
And here's the thing, all right? Here's where the game was won. Third down efficiency. The Eagles were 1 for 9 on third downs. The Giants were 11 for 16. Okay,
Yeah,
the Eagles finished with 339 total yards. The Giants ended up with 366. So I mean, like, really, if you take a look at it, they really didn't. They didn't stick to they were out. They were outperformed tonight. They did not look like they got off the bus. And I'm sorry, but I think the Ojulari experiment should be done. I think the Josh Uche experiment should be done. And I'm really starting to get my little wearies about Zadarius Smith because he kind of disappeared too. These edge rushers disappeared. So, like our boy Mike Kaepernick said, I think they should go and make that trade for Trey Hendrickson. Why not? Make a trade for him, sign him to a nice contract. He'll come here and go get Asante Samuel. And while Asante's healing, okay, you have Eli Ricks on your practice squad. Promote him. Cut ties with Adoree Jackson and Kelee Ringo. Tell Kelee you're only going to play special teams, dude. Because right now he got his ass chewed up tonight. And, I'll tell you, who else got chewed up tonight too? Zach Bone got chewed up in coverage. Theo Johnson.
Yes.
Theo Johnson was eating him up. And there was one play in particular where Jalen Hunt actually covered him and almost got an interception. Again, the Eagles lost the turnover battle tonight, Pat. When you lose the turnover battle, you're going to lose the game. They had 2 turnovers. The Giants didn't have any turnovers tonight. They did not force that kid into no high-pressure situations. But I will say this. They play again in 2 weeks. It's going to be a much different game. I think it's probably going to be the other way around because you will have Landon Dickerson in there. You will have Jalen Carter in there. And they're going to have to worry about those 2 guys. Cam Scatterboo's not going to be able to run up the middle like he was running tonight with Jalen Carter in there. We both know that. So you got to tip your cap to the Giants. They played a very good game, a very well-disciplined game other than their penalties, but they went down the field and scored at will. This defense did not stop anything or anybody, man. And I'll tell you what, going forward, the Eagles got a nice little bye ahead of them. If I'm Nick Sirianni, I'm telling them guys, get out of here, go away. I will see you guys Monday morning. Go enjoy the rest of the weekend. Be with your family. Do what you got to do. Come in Monday morning ready to work. And that's when I'm going to start. He's got to do that because this team tonight, they look like a shell of themselves. And I want to know what's up with A.J. Brown because he looked great in the first half. And then in the second half, my man looked like he wanted to be somewhere else other than here. And it wasn't for them not trying to throw him the ball. I'm watching his body language on out there playing tonight, and they took the catch away from him when he made that nice try going out of the sidelines. It seemed like as soon as they took that catch from him, it was like, oh man. And like I said, there was a lot of things that didn't bounce the Eagles' way tonight that should have bounced the Eagles' way. But you know what? That's kind of, I guess that's kind of.
It's been their story up until this point, though, on both sides of the ball. Like, I'm going to go back to this A.J. Brown point that you just made. A.J. Brown, like you said, the first half, Jalen Hurts is spreading the ball around, getting everyone their touches, everyone their throws. And then when he's going to be the primary target, they lock him down. And then it's like you said, he doesn't even want to play the game anymore. He looks like an upset kid because now all the passes are now going to Goddard because Goddard's getting open over the middle. And it's once they figure out how to shut this team down in the secondary, once the secondaries learn how to shut down their the wideouts, it just seems like the Eagles just have a bundle of problems and they don't know how to have a counterpunch ready. And I don't know if you want to blame coaching on that. Blame the combination of both, but something has to give here. And like you said, maybe the bye is now much required and much warranted for this team to kind of take a breather and get back to work and get ready to go and turn their season around. Because if not, if it's going to keep on penetrating this way, it's going to be a long year.
Yeah, it is. Like that bye won't be able to come fast enough. You figure they have Minnesota, then they play the Giants again, then they get their bye week. So they have like a mini bye going into Minnesota, and then really kind of like if you're, I'm going to bring up the schedule real quick, Pat. If you take a look at it, we're right here. I mean, if the Eagles are 4-2, I mean, if you would have told us after 6 weeks that they would be 4-2, I think we would have signed up for it, considering the teams that they played leading up to this. I'm pretty sure a lot of us had Kansas City as a loss and probably Tampa as a loss. So for them to lose these two in a row, I guess they're probably right where everybody kind of had them. But for me, like looking at this going really kind of going forward here, you got Green Bay, Detroit, and then you got to go play Dallas. I mean, they barely escaped week 1 beating Dallas. Now you're going to have Detroit coming in here, and I think Detroit's a really good team.
That's a gauntlet. That's a mini gauntlet you got coming up.
It is. You do. You have literally 3 straight games. I'm not sold on the Bears, Chargers, and the Raiders. I think they're 3 winnable games for the Eagles, but then you finish up with 3 kind of, I'm not even going to say, I'm not buying Washington either. I think Washington's kind of ran into some luck a little bit, but I'm not sold on them. I watched their game last week, and I'm not impressed with them. I think Jayden Daniels has taken a much step back, even though he's coming back from injury. So
I got to first say, I got to, believe in this team anymore from the last 2 weeks before I could say we could dominate anybody, because this is a 1-4 Giants team that you were going against, despite the injury bug that you had on both sides of the ball.
Well, listen, you could say that, but let's keep it a beam. They played Dallas very tough in Dallas. I mean, the game they lost that game in overtime. Okay, they lost 40 to 37. It's a divisional game, so you have to chalk it up to that. Now, if the Eagles would have been competitive in this game and they lost, I would be more okay with it. Like if I'm Nick Sirianni, I'm flipping shit over in that locker room tonight. I'm not letting nobody in because it's unexcusable the way they played. They came out there, they looked like the 1-4 team tonight, not the Giants. The Giants looked like they were 4-1, and you got to give them all the credit in the world. They look really good. They look like the hungrier team tonight, and if I'm Vic Fangio, Dory Jackson and Keely Ringo are not seeing the field, okay? You're going to have 10 days off before your next game. Quinyon Mitchell, if that hammy is not up to par, then you got to go hit the waiver wire. Go do something, Howie. Go bring somebody in here to get him. If he's going to be out longer than that, they got to make a move. You got all these draft picks, right? You got to get rid of them. Do what good teams do. You're going to be picking late 20s to early 30s. You go get rid of them draft picks. I don't care about not having a first-round pick. If you're sending your picks away to go pick somebody up that's really good, which, by the way, the Eagles are, being reported as looking at Denzel Ward from the Cleveland Browns. I would take Denzel Ward here in a heartbeat. You want to talk about a game? He's a Pro Bowler. He will go with whoever's number 1, like Quinyon Mitchell would having him and Denzel Ward in the same backfield along with Cooper DeJean. My God, they would be able to lock down 3 wide receivers if the Eagles go get Denzel Ward. And like I said, it's looking like, I don't know if it's going to come to fruition, but the Eagles are one of the teams that are in on Denzel Ward. I would love for them to go get him. A cheaper option would be Asante Samuel Jr. for when he gets done, when he heals up. You sign him, let him heal up for his next couple of weeks, and then bring him in. You use Eli Ricks in the meantime until you come out of your bye week. So, I mean, there's options there, Patrick. There's options, Patrick, but I don't know how many.
No, and the part that hurts most into how you open up the show here, the trifecta loss. I mean, I took off from the 9-to-5 job to enjoy this night, and I can't even get one win from a Philly team. Are you serious? I had to deal with the trifecta the losses. I had to get on the L Street of the Phillies going down, the Flyers not open, losing on their opening night.
I I will tell you this: out of all the teams, the Philly teams that did lose tonight, the one that played the hardest was the Flyers. The ones that played the hardest was the Flyers. They took the Stanley Cup champions, man, and that was a really good entertainment. I put up on Facebook how my setup was. I literally had my phone going across. The Flyers game was on there, okay? I had the Phillies on the computer once the Eagles came on. Once the Eagles came on, they went on the big screen. I put the Phillies on here, and the way the Phillies lost their game, it was kind of, you know what's coming. Like, I was just waiting for the Dodgers to get a hit. Once they got to the 10th inning, once the game got to the 10th inning, I was like, okay, when's it going to end? And, I kind of had to step out to go to the store. And as I got back into the car, I heard the whole thing come undone. Again, I know this is the Eagles post-game show, but, I think there's going to be changes there with the Phillies. The Flyers hung tough tonight against the defending. The Eagles just didn't show up. It's just that plain and simple. It wasn't that the Giants beat them. The Eagles. It was more the Eagles didn't show up, and then they got their ass handed to them. They took this Giants team lightly, and the Giants handed them their ass. And I'm glad they did. Hopefully now that nice hour and a half to 2 hour bus ride back from North Jersey in the swamps will maybe wake them up, because you can't go up there thinking you're just because of their record. Now, stop and think about this. This was the same Giants team that played in New Orleans last week and couldn't get out of their own way and turned the ball over 5 times. You go there tonight, you look at what they did tonight. The Eagles took them lightly. That's exactly what happened tonight. They took them lightly, and the Giants kicked their ass, and I'm glad they did. This should be a wake-up call.
You know what? And you know what? Like, when I saw the Giants go up initially with 2 TDs, I'm like, man, is this going to be a long night? But then the Eagles came right back and took over the game. Like, oh, this is going to be a fun night. This is going to be a day at the beach. This is why they're 1-4. This is why the Birds are going to be. And then, of course, as the game played out, more mistakes start to unravel for the Birds. The dumb penalties they were committing in the second half, not able to stop them from the Giants, and this Eagles team being banged up front to protect Jalen, all came to an end. It came to a collision course. It all ends for the Giants to win this game. And again, the costly mistakes at the end, especially from the interception, the fumble, really was the nail in the coffin for this Birds team. Like you said, the packing in. It's going to be a long 2-hour ride home from North Jersey to South Philly. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of players thinking about their certain positions soon, because I can see a lot of these guys riding the bench, or some change are going to have to make. I can't see Howie sitting long for this kind of mess.
I can't either. I can't see him sitting long. I don't care about draft picks. Like, draft picks to me, it's a crapshoot. So, I mean, if you got a lot of them, man, start packaging some of these draft picks together and go get yourself some proven talent. Yeah, you're going to have to sign Trey Hendrickson past this year. Sign him. Now you got somebody, you got an edge rusher to go along with Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt. Nolan Smith being out. Okay? Again, this team defensively was banged up. You had Nakobe Dean out there making some plays, but he wasn't playing middle linebacker tonight. And, I'm sorry, they were just double teaming Ajomo for most of the night. They were double teaming Ajomo and letting the other guys, and that's what was going on. Ajomo was really having a hard time getting through tonight from what I've seen. Pat, before we get going here, let's throw up our schedule, as you can take a look.
Yes.
Tonight, tomorrow there will be no game for Phillies NLDS because they lost that tonight. So Philly season is over. So the only thing tomorrow is Patrick, your show against the wraparound will be on at 10:30 tomorrow. So make sure you guys tune in for Pat for that. I will be with you right after the final whistle on Saturday for Penn State Northwestern, and then Pat will be right back with you with that's right. There it is. The return to Clear the Ice. The return to Clear the Ice tonight. Pat will have you covered on Saturday. And then, of course, me, Pat, and Al, we get everything kicked off Sunday morning with P&M and the AM. And then Right there. That's right. The man, the myth, the legend. His week will begin. And I'll tell you what, I'm pretty sure he's going to be fired up
Oh, he's
about what happened tonight. I'm surprised he's not
and
tuning in now and chirping. But
no,
Pat,
he's probably sitting there. He's sitting there on
go ahead.
top of a hill, angry as could be. I can smell the Matty B from here with his brain steaming. But no, yeah, like I said, guys, hit like, subscribe to It's Around Sports, where you can find us, me, Matty B, Al, Matt, Steve, Nantez. You got us all here, and plus, don't forget, just because we cover the east part of the state. We do got guys on the west part of the state again. Steel City Sundays. We'll be here this Sunday morning, getting ready for the Steelers and Browns. For all you Steelers fans, even in this neck of the woods, give those guys a shout. And then, of course, Wednesday nights at 8:00 is the Pittsburgh Sports Desk, and then we have the Green Iron Weekly with those guys.
Yes, so make sure you guys tune in for that. And also, since we're plugging shows, don't forget props, locks, and parlays every Wednesday night. And guess what? I told you guys. I told you guys last night. I said Eagles, Giants, take the over in the game. Make sure you take the over. And we did hit the over tonight in that game. So one down, a couple more to go here. So again, don't forget. And Paul will be returning next week, I believe. He said he will be returning. So there you go. So, guys, make sure you tune in. There it is. Patrick, we are going to get out of here, my friend.
Yes. Again, subscribe to the network. We have bundles of shows coming up. We have new things come. Maybe in the fall, because the Sixers post game show might be coming to the network, and a program where we're getting the works of that going. A lot going on here in the upcoming. And don't forget, guys. There's now only one playoff caliber team. I will be talking about them at the attacking third, the Philadelphia Union. So, guys, Monday morning, yes, I will be with you since I am off for the holiday. I will be talking the attacking third, talking about the only playoff team in the city currently. I will be talking about the Philadelphia Union as they continue, as they took over the number 1 seed, as they got the number 1 seed locked up. Guys, tune in with me for all you Union heads out there. I'll get you covered.
All right, guys. Well, for Pat Bernard, I am Mike Laura. Birds fall in North Jersey tonight, 34-17.
Mike, we're not playing with the Birds tonight, bud.
Yeah, no, maybe not. Well, not me. I'm going to bed. Some of us have to get up for work tomorrow. So, for Pat Bernard, I'm Mike Laura. Guys, you guys have a good night. And we'll see you Sunday morning.